Speaking of questions and asking questions, like you were saying, you moved around a little bit, even finding out audit wasn't for you and things like that. Are there any questions that you ask when you're moving roles and when you're in somewhere you don't want to go and you're looking for somewhere else to go? What kind of questions would you ask people to get ready to move into something that you might prefer?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question because you don't really know what something's like unless I think you've experienced it. There's a couple of things you can ask folks that are in that role or folks in that company before you join and say, look, what's the career trajectory like? Is the company growing? What's the culture like? Why is this role opened? Has someone left? If so, why did they leave? What's the message what's the vision that some of the key founders and executives have? These are all some of your almost investigative questions that you're asking to figure out if something is the right fit for you. And I think one of the things that's really important to think about when you're interviewing for jobs is they're interviewing you as much as you're interviewing them. And so, like, I understand what the culture is like. I understand, do folks go out at the end of the week to have dinner at work, or is it everyone does their own thing? Do folks appreciate you asking for help, or is it more independent? Is it a big team? Is it a small team? What does career progression look like? Where do folks that work in this role end up in 5 or 10 years time? Those questions I'd ask and I'd think about. When I joined Airwallex, before I accepted the role, I was sort of lucky. I knew a couple of people there that already worked there, and I reached out to them and I said, look, I'm interviewing. What's the culture like? Do you enjoy working there? What are your hours like? Because you'll get the HR sort of spiel,
Mm.
right? But you really want to figure out what's going on. So my advice is just reach out to folks that work there. If you've got mutual connections on LinkedIn, especially, and just understand where is the company growing. And if you were in this role for the next 5 years, where would you end up?